The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on a Thursday morning. Hope that everyone is having themselves a fantastic day today. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, like Shirts Plus EP and Posh and Pex. I see my dude, Tommy Carranza, has tuned into the show already, saying good morning, Tip. Good morning to you, Tommy. Hope that you are having yourself a fantastic day so far today. Augustine saying, oh, you're screwing up again. Again, I do all this stuff by myself. I got to do the research. I got to do all this stuff by myself. Allow me a little bit of grace, my guy. The second you mess up tomorrow, even a word, I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up. Normally, I'm okay with it. You mess up one singular word, I'm bringing it up tomorrow. That's a game you want to play. We'll play that game. But yes, I apologize. I'm going to have a video up in a little bit following the Just the Tip segment, and I found a second angle of a video that I was working on. Yes, I actually do some research. It's crazy. I found a second angle of the video that I was working on TikTok 2 minutes before I had to do the show. So I had to download it, save it, edit it, and then get it put on here and make sure it looked okay decently on the screen. So I had to do all that stuff. Shout out to Nick Black 31 who tuned in over on Instagram as well. Augustine asking if it's my Epstein video. It could be. I edited it in Adobe Premiere just like the Justice Department does. God, what a bunch of nerds. Anyway, I got to move on from that subject. Oh, we'll get heated. We'll get on that subject for a while. Our dude Bistrilla saying good morning, Tip. Good morning to you, Bistrilla. Hope that you are having yourself a fantastic day. Today, we're going to start off with a topic that we spoke about a little bit yesterday. And it turned into a heated argument on whether or not Phillip Rivers was a Hall of Fame quarterback now that he has finally announced his retirement from the NFL. Bistro saying, I like that hat, bro. Thank you so much. This was the first hat that I bought at an NFL draft because I figured if I'm going to be at the NFL draft, I have to be as objective as possible. So I didn't want to have like a Dallas Cowboys hat. I wanted to be as unbiased as possible. So I bought an NFL Shield hat. I'm rooting for the NFL. And I've said this a bunch of times. Like if I ever lost my fandom, which I don't think I ever will, but if I ever lost my fandom, I would just root for every NFL team except for the Philadelphia Eagles. I love the NFL. I love professional football. But the question was asked, is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? And I think this was B. Strilla's question yesterday. I'm trying to remember whether it was B. Strilla, whether it was Sonia, something of that nature. Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? And there was some pushback. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, which to me, again, is a ridiculous argument. If you're good enough to be a Hall of Famer, you're good enough to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And then you got to look at like who else retired this year, because that's where it's not going to be retroactive to whenever he stopped playing. It's going to be retroactive to whenever he retired. And I'm glad that Tommy and Augustine are on my side here. Strilla, I'm trying to remember what your thought was, or maybe you did what I did yesterday, where you just threw a grenade out there and let the chum in the water do what the chum in the water is going to do. But I was thinking about that. So I have here a Hall of Famer of someone that everyone on yesterday's panel said is going to be a future Hall of Famer, and Phillip Rivers. These are the Hall of Fame numbers. And all of them, no championships, because we're not doing the championship thing here. We're not going to be like, oh, you won a championship, automatically you're a Hall of Famer, in which case Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer are Hall of Famers now. 15 seasons as a starter. All three of these quarterbacks have 15 seasons as a starter. 49,000 yards, 49,325 yards, 291 touchdowns, 233 interceptions. That's quarterback number one. Quarterback number two, the prospective Hall of Famer that everyone said was a prospective Hall of Famer, going to be first ballot. 15 seasons, 59,809 yards, 377 touchdowns, 188 interceptions. And then Phillip Rivers, 15 seasons as a starter, 63,440 yards, 421 touchdowns, 209 interceptions. The first quarterback who's in the Hall of Fame is Warren Moon. And the second quarterback who everyone says is going to be a Hall of Famer is Matt Stafford. Phillip Rivers, through 15 career years, had better seasons than both Warren Moon and Matthew Stafford, minus the fact that Matthew Stafford has himself a Super Bowl ring. And again, I don't think it's team success here. I don't think team success is what gets you a Super Bowl championship. Otherwise, you wouldn't have guys like Dan Fouts in there, Kenny Stabler, Sonny Jurgensen, right? Like you wouldn't have those guys. And that was part of the argument that we wound up having. Like, it devolved from, is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Fame quarterback? To me, obviously throwing the grenade out there. Our guy, Ray, tuning in saying, sorry I'm late. Good morning and go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. I don't know if I don't think I can agree with you on go Chiefs. But the Chargers being the Chiefs' rival, I'm pretty sure you're going to say Phillip Rivers is not a Hall of Famer. But to me, like, it shouldn't matter first ballot, second ballot, any of that stuff. Phillip Rivers, when you retire number 6 all time in both passing yards and touchdowns, you are 100% a Hall of Famer. You should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, because I think this year you're going to have Tyrann Smith, first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm trying to think of everyone that's retired this year. Let me come up. I probably should have done this prior. Derek Carr, nope. Julio Jones, maybe, probably. Patrick Peterson on the line here. Zach Martin, Tyrann Smith, Teron Armstead, Phillip Rivers, Tyrann Mathieu, and now Jimmy Graham. I can see Zach Martin. I can see Tyrann Smith. 5 years. 5 years. I can see Zach Martin and Tyrann Smith making it into the Hall of Fame along with Phillip Rivers as first ballot Hall of Fame guys. Augustine saying 64,000 passing yards, 421 touchdowns, more than 240 consecutive games, 8-time Pro Bowler, 95 passer rating, 65 completion percentage. Yes, that's a Hall of Famer. If Rivers isn't a Hall of Famer, then Marino, Kelly, Moon, and Fouts shouldn't be in either. The Crooked Commish joining us right now as well, saying, what's good, Money Mike? What's good with you, Crooked Commish? Hope that you were having a great day. The conversation right now is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? I don't get the whole, maybe someone can explain it to me. First ballot versus whatever ballot. You should be a Hall of Famer no matter what. I don't like this ballot bull crap that comes out, but I cannot see anyone on this list that keeps Phillip Rivers from being a first ballot Hall of Fame guy. Tyrann Smith, Zach Martin, Phillip Rivers ought to be the 3 first ballot guys that you get in this year, or not this year, but 5 years from now, the group that retired from this year. The Cricket Commission saying, did you hear that Fields had to be carted off? I just got that right now. Man, there's a lot going on. I thought today was going to be a slow day. There's a lot going on in the world of sports here. So let's check this out. From Florham Park, New Jersey, New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields was carted off the field Thursday, the practice field Thursday morning with an apparent lower leg injury. Fields pulled up after rolling right and throwing an incomplete short pass to tight end Jeremy Ruckert. Fields went down, sat on the ground briefly, and limped off the field with assistance of a trainer. He spent a few minutes in the injury tent before a cart arrived on the scene. Fields was taken to the locker room, sitting in the passenger seat of the cart before walking into the team facility. Man, that's the Jets, though. Like that's that we all could have saw that coming. Something was going to happen with the New York Jets. That does suck. That does suck. Tyrod Taylor going to take over as the starting quarterback, replacing him in the drills. That would be something that happens to the Jets. That 100% would be. And I like Justin Fields. I don't know, Crooked Commish, maybe you can help me out here. I thought Fields got a bad shake in Chicago. I really did. Like, they finally got some guys, some receivers for him to throw the ball to, and then they just trade him away, got rid of him, had nothing with him. He'll be fine. If he was able to walk, he'll probably be fine, right? He'll probably miss a couple of weeks of practice, if anything. That's probably a wide open quarterback race anyway in that camp. Tyrod Taylor, if you're the Jets, are you trusting Tyrod Taylor to be the guy? Augustine saying the Jets, LOL, that franchise should just move. The Crooked Commish saying, I woke up to some bad news, so I need a good distraction, bro. I'm with you on that one. That's what this show is. I learned that during COVID. I didn't realize, how lucky I am to be able to do some of this stuff until people would send me messages and be like, this show's a distraction from my everyday life. Thank you so much for doing this and that, blah, blah, blah. He did. His only year with DJ, they had a good connection and chemistry. And like, I feel like Justin Fields just needs to get in a good spot, right? Like, again, I think that's every quarterback, right? Like, every quarterback needs to have at least a receiver, a tight end, someone that they can work with. You can't just, Sam Darnold it, draft him as a top draft pick, and have nobody for him to throw the ball to, along with no offensive line, right? Like, that was the issue the Bears had, was the Bears didn't have a great offensive line. They didn't have a lot of talent for Justin Fields to throw the ball to. He finally gets something, and they move on from it. Goes to Pittsburgh. You got George Pickens. You have Freiermuth. You had a pretty Najee Harris at the time. You had a pretty decent team. I want to say he went 4-1 as a starter, right? Was it 4-1 or was it 4-0? I've got to try to remember what it was that he did last year as a starter. I think he lost to the Dallas Cowboys, but that might have been Russell Wilson's first game back. I'm trying to remember what it was. I was in Connecticut. Meeting up with friends. We were going to meet up at Buffalo Wild Wings. B-Dubs. Shout out to B-Dubs. Went 4-2 as a starter. Okay. Still pretty damn good record as a starter. We were going to meet up at B-Dubs. And I just remember, like, we're all hanging out at B-Dubs, and the game was postponed. I think it was a lightning storm or something like that was happening in Pittsburgh. And I just remember being so damn mad because we were supposed to watch Sunday Night Football with my friends from ESPN, and we ultimately didn't get to do that. Everyone left. It was like 3 hours, so everyone wound up leaving before the start of the game. I think the game started like around 11 o'clock Eastern time, and I stayed up like an idiot at the hotel watching it by myself. What a fun time. I'm so glad. Augustine saying we should go to Buffalo Wild Wings soon. I will be there on Saturday. Brandon the Iceman Cone is back. They have all-you-can-eat apps. $9.99. You get 2 apps, and then you can just start refilling them as it goes. Is the buffet still on? LOL. No, they don't have the all-you-can-eat wings, but they have all-you-can-eat apps, and that's all you can ask for right now. The all-you-can-eat apps. The Crooked Commissioner saying he was winning, but his passing numbers were meh. They thought the offense could be more effective. Ray asking us, what is the go-to app? Oh, man. I'm picky, man. Like, I hate all-you-can-eat appetizers. I've got to try to remember what all the appetizers are at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's the mozzarella sticks. It's the chips and queso. It's the chips and salsa. It's the fried pickles, onion rings. And I want to say there's one more that I cannot think of right now. But out of those 5, maybe 6, you can mix and match, have all you can eat for up to 4 people. And then let's say you got 6 people, it's only an additional $2.95 per person. So it's a pretty good deal. At least I say. The Crooked Commissioner saying potato skins. That has to be his go-to is potato skins. Not with me. My go-to is probably going to be mozzarella sticks, man. Like, I love a good mozzarella stick. Beast Drill saying, yeah, the offense going back to Justin Fields. Yeah, the offense was better initially with Wilson at quarterback, but I think they lost the last 6 games. They did, man. Like, it was, and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't get what Pittsburgh is doing right now. Like the guy that won them the majority of their games, I guess you can't say majority, but he won a good amount of their games last year, a good percentage of their games, 40% of their games, they moved on from. Then the guy that won them the remaining 60% of those games, they move on from. But they wind up losing a whole bunch of games towards the end of the season, bring in 9,000-year-old geriatric Aaron Rodgers, and still, like, I don't get how people think that this is going to be a good team. Answer the question, Ray. What is your go-to app? Mine has to be mozzarella sticks. I love me some mozzarella sticks. Breaded fried cheese. Oh man, yeah, you gotta remember about like the wings and stuff like that. I guess that also depends. Like what is an app? Like there's a lot of places that have different apps. So you gotta figure that stuff out. Like if wings are on, of course I'm gonna go get wings. Like that's going to be one of the ways that I'm gonna go with that. Like you gotta get yourself some wings. Wings and mozzarella sticks are always gonna be my go-to. Can't go wrong with chicken nuggets. Some peeps like bone in. They're still chicken nuggets. That's weird. Are the wings breaded at Buffalo Wild Wings? That's a great question. I believe so. I think you can ask them for it. I know I've had some breaded wings. I'm just not a big fan of like overly breaded wings. Ray saying that his go-to is boneless wings, but if not, he would go mozzarella sticks. Boneless wings are the best wings a man can get. You're a real man if you eat boneless wings. You're getting more bang for your buck if you're eating boneless wings. Adult chicken nuggies. Tommy Canazza saying, I don't like them breaded. Yeah, I don't think they are. Like the majority of the ones that I've had there haven't been breaded. Here are the apps that you can get that are bottomless. The mozzarella sticks, onion rings, fried pickles, chips and salsa, hatch, chips and queso. So I was right. Look at that. Look at that for retention. Me being able to remember what I should remember. The mozzarella sticks, onion rings, fried pickles, chips and salsa, chips and queso. I went there last week, I want to say, and it was delicious. My kids obviously always get the stuff that they always get. Ray letting us know he's a fat guy, so he had to look it up. Hey, trust me, I get it. Nobody associated with this show is fatter than me. You hear? I'm the fat guy here. Bistro saying it's food. Of course you'll remember food. The one thing that I do remember especially is the beer specials, right? Like they have $4 house beers, the Wild Herd. They always have that for $4. For the next couple of months, it's going to be $5 Coors Light and $6 Blue Moons. So I know that's the way that it's going to be. Augustine saying, I will try my darndest to be there on Saturday. It would be great. Brandon the Iceman Cone came back from his trip. He went to Norway. I can't think of that. That's got to be the whitest white guy thing to do, is go to Norway during the summer. The Crooked Commish saying fat, P-H-A-T. We are fat. We are thick. On this show, we're thick. We're not fat. We're thick with 2 C's. Some of us might be thick with 3 C's, but we're thick with 2 C's at least. 2 C minimum on this show. Thicker than a Snicker, baby. And twice as tasty. I feel bad for anybody that just tuned in at that point right there. Augustine saying Brandon is just tired of all the Mexicans around here. That's why he went to Norway. Going up to the mother. He's Brandon the Iceman Cone. So he's got to go somewhere cold, right? Can't spend the entire summer in the hottest place on earth. But it hasn't really been that hot in El Paso recently. We've had rain and clouds and stuff like that. Look at us. Look at us having weather. One of the C's in thick is capitalized. You bet your ass it is. Both of them are capital. All the letters in thick are capitalized. The way it should be. Okay. And then the question that I brought out yesterday, that, again, throwing my grenade into the Hall of Fame debate here, was whether or not Tony Romo should be considered an NFL Hall of Famer. And I get it, he never won a championship. But whenever you look at 34,183 passing yards, 248 touchdowns, 117 interceptions, which I was surprised that it's only 117 interceptions. That's more touchdowns than Troy Aikman, who had 195. Less interceptions than Troy Aikman, who had 141. More touchdowns than Roger Staubach, who had 153, and only 8 more interceptions than Roger Staubach's 109. Almost 12,000 more passing yards than Roger Staubach, and 2,000 more passing yards than Troy Aikman. I get he never won a championship. I get they didn't have team success in the playoffs and doing all that stuff. I get that. But as an individual, if you have a team that's had the type of quarterback play that the Dallas Cowboys have had, and you are the greatest statistical of those quarterbacks, I feel like you have to be a Hall of Famer. I'm surprised that this hasn't come up. The Crooked Commission saying, nah, bro. Hall of Very Good. What was the biggest game he won? He has a lot of comebacks, man. That's the one thing I got to remember about Tony Romo is he's got a lot of comebacks. It's not about games won. We have to remember wins, like my dude B. Strilla was saying yesterday. Wins is not a quarterback stat. I don't know when or how wins became a quarterback stat, but it is not a quarterback stat. It just flatly isn't a quarterback stat. Statistically, individual statistics are what gets you into the Hall of Fame, unless you're Joe Namath and you retired with more interceptions than you did touchdowns. Which that one I don't get. I don't get Joe Namath being in the Hall of Fame. I really don't. 173 touchdowns to 220 interceptions. Almost 50 more interceptions than touchdowns. And he's still somehow, some way in the Hall of Fame. Or if you like, just the tip. Tony Romo was the greatest Cowboy quarterback ever. He didn't have any luck in certain situations, but the guy was incredible. And that's the thing, right? Like, I say this as someone that loved me a little bit of Tony Romo, so take with it what you will. The dude played through a punctured lung and a broken rib to win a game in overtime against the San Francisco 49ers, right? He broke his back twice for the Dallas Cowboys. He broke his collarbone a few times, and he came back, and he always played, and he always had great seasons. He was a starter for the Dallas Cowboys for 8 years. That was it. Just 8 years. It was lightning in a bottle that they had with Tony Romo. And in those 8 years, was able to get 34,000, almost 35,000 passing yards and well over 200 touchdowns. He got to give Jessica Simpson just the tip. He definitely got lucky. Jessica Simpson, Carrie Underwood, even like his wife now, you look at her, extremely attractive. Tony Romo, really good luck. Really good luck in the dating scene and in marriage and in life. But how much of that has to do with being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? Tony Romo, is he a Hall of Famer? Oh, that's just the tip of this conversation.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Visit www.myhappynuts.com. Check out everything they have. I've got the whole body deodorant. I've got the comfort cream. I've got the Balber. That means I'm taken care of all over, guys, from my pits to my tip. Everything is feeling fresh and clean, just like Outcast said it would. You need to feel the same way. Go to www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Save on all your male grooming needs. It's a great gift. If you're a guy, it would be weird giving it to another guy, but you know what? Do it. Tell him that his nuts need to be as happy as yours, just like I'm telling you that your nuts need to be as happy as mine. www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. I mentioned at the top of the show that I had gotten some video. I procured some video because something happened yesterday that I thought was just absolutely hilarious. And it comes down to the Cleveland Browns and their new Alpha Dog helmet that the Cleveland Browns unveiled yesterday. And I don't know if you saw, but right there on the corner, one of the photogs, as the tarp is coming off the helmet, falls into the water, takes a step, looking for the platform, falls into the water. I slowed it down just a couple of times and zoomed in so that we can see the splash. I love the splash that had. It was absolutely perfect. And then, as I'm getting ready for today's show, I'm like 2.5 minutes away from the show starting, and I get this angle. And you can see him stepping right in. You can see the Cleveland Browns mascot, along with the new sponsor of the Alpha Dog helmet of the Cleveland Browns, Dude Wipes. You cannot make this stuff up. Dude Wipes and the Cleveland Browns teaming up to unveil a brand new helmet. And this photog, and he's on his iPhone. Like, I want to see the angle on his phone. Like, if they're able to save the video on his phone, I need to see that angle. Because you can see right here, just the slow motion fall. Ray saying that was funny. The Cricket Commish saying that's hilarious. It was. Like, there's nothing funnier than people falling. I've said that a million times. There's nothing funnier than people falling. Augustine saying, dude wipes off the set. LOL. He 100% wiped off the set. That's a good one, Augustine. That was a good one. He probably lost the whole video because it got a little wet. And that's a shame, man. Like, the least, like, I hope there's a way they can recover that video. We need that video. We need that video. But you're right. It was probably lost because I don't think it's saved on the phone. But Dude Wipes and the Cleveland Browns, he needs the Balber. But Dude Wipes and the Cleveland Browns unveiling themselves a new football helmet. And it got me wondering, right? Like, the Cleveland Browns already have the most boring helmet in the NFL. It's just orange with a brown stripe. Now they have a brown helmet with an orange stripe. And they're going to wear that helmet, the Alpha Dog helmet, with the all brown Cleveland Browns uniform. Brown pants, brown top. I want to say orange numbers with a white outline on it. I would have tossed my phone on the way down, right? Like, it would have been some Jedi stuff. You're falling. It would have been the Patrick Mahomes, perpendicular to the floor, parallel with the floor, tossing the ball to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill should have caught that pass against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, where Patrick Mahomes is falling down all the way to his side and throws that ball. That's exactly what Ray would have done, or that's what Tommy would have done, passing the ball that way. just getting rid of it on the way down. Save this video. And he did fall kind of slow motion, but it was also like a rock at the same time. Like he had a splash I did not expect them to have. And I love the quick thinking of the Cleveland Browns mascot. I want to see if they actually show it here in this video. I didn't pay much attention. I just loved the angle. Oh, I might have taken it out now that I think about it. The Cleveland Browns mascot with the awareness to toss the little life preserver, all of the Titanic, to this guy as he's flailing around in the water, to just toss that little ring, that floaty device over to him. The Dude's Wipe mascot was there. Augustine saying, aren't today's phones water resistant? Do you people have an iPhone 2? You people? What do you mean, you people? I don't know, man. Like, maybe they're water. I don't want to test it. Like, I'm still, I've like, whenever I go to SeaWorld and places like that, or I go to like the beach, I've got like a little pouch that I put my phone in. Like it's a plastic thing, like a Ziploc bag almost, that I put my phone in. I am not risking anything happening to my phone. The Cleveland Browns, as the Cricket Commission says, their mascot, man's best friend, right? And then Augustine saying, and the falling, and the right foot is hilarious. Like he's just searching. That right foot is just searching. It's flailing out there, looking for something. Tommy Cananza saying, I don't care if they're water resistant. I'm not throwing my phone in the water. Just put it in some rice. You grew up a specific way. If you know, you put your phone in some rice, it might be all right. You just got to wait a couple of hours. You'll be a couple of hours without a phone. Just put it in some rice. You'll be all right. I've done that a time or two, especially whenever I was in the military. Did that a time or two. But I'm not risking it, man. Like, I am not risking it. I don't want to, like, that. Like, it's maybe a little bit is the cost, right? Maybe that's a little bit of what it is. The cost of a phone is astronomical right now, but it's the headache, man. The headache of having to go get a new phone, doing all that stuff, porting your number, making sure your contacts and everything come over. Oh God, like that's the part of getting a new phone that I hate. It's not so much the cost. I think I've got an iPhone 14, right? And I've had it for a couple of years now, and I'm doing my damnedest to make sure I can hold on to this sumbitch longer than what it's probably used to being held on to. The Cricket Commission saying, yes, big baller, I haven't upgraded. I still have my iPhone Uno. Augustine saying that right foot looks like the Cowboys season, just looking for hope. Tommy Carranza hating on the iPhone, saying, I've never had an iPhone and never will. You're a green text guy, huh? That's who you are? I've never understood the vitriol, like the pure hatred that people have towards the iPhone. Like, I don't get it, man. So I had an Android. God, I was living in Alaska. I had that Android. So this is going back to 2014. I had an Android from like 2011 to 2014. And my Android just kept getting hot. Like I couldn't hold on to it. And I took it in to get a new phone, and they had a deal on iPhones. I said, screw it. I'll take this iPhone. I don't even know what iPhone. It might have been like the iPhone 6 or something like that at that point in time. And I got me a new iPhone, and I've loved my iPhone ever since. I don't hate on Androids. Augustine saying, I've had an iPhone before, but I really prefer the Google Pixel. I'm the same. Like, I look at a lot of the new phones that are coming out, and I'm like, oh man, that would look cool. But I think, again, it's not the cost. It's not iPhone versus Android or whatever. It's none of that stuff. It's the hassle of having to get all that stuff imported and making sure you keep the same number. Like it's always been just a thing on my mind. Who remembers the Sidekick? Oh man, That was such a cool phone. The little flip thing that it would do, and you have your little keyboard. Oh, that was cool. I had the pink Razor. I remember thinking I was the man because I was able to score a pink Razor like in 2007. I had a flip phone all the way till 2011, I want to say. I liked my little flip phone. I can't remember what type of flip phone it was, but I liked it. It had like an MP3 player on it. It did everything I needed it to do. I had it for so long that by the time it crapped out on me, I think I got it in like 2008 to 2011. By the time it crapped out on me, they didn't even make the chargers for it anymore. And that's why I had to go to a smartphone. That's why I wound up getting the Android that I got. Tommy Cananza saying, I've always had a Galaxy until recently I switched to the Pixel. Look at that. We have found, guys, I never thought we would reach this moment. Those of you that have like supported the show for a long time, you know how momentous and monumental this moment right here is. If you're new to the show, you get to witness history in the making. We finally found a place where Tommy and Augustine agree, and it's with the Google Pixel. I cannot say, like, I am on the verge of tears right now, guys. How happy I am that this moment has finally come. A decade I've been doing this, and for a decade, they've been on the opposite end of literally everything. We finally found the common ground between Augustine and Tommy Carranza, and it's with the Google Pixel. I could have swore Augustine had an iPhone. I don't know why, but I remember getting blue text from you back in the day. Augustine saying the Pixel is amazing, the AI and the camera and everything. I'm just waiting for the new Pixel Fold coming out October, I want to say. Tommy Cananza saying, I had a Razor back in the day. You know anyone that still rocks a BlackBerry phone? That would be cool. Dude, I wanted a BlackBerry for so long. Like, I remember seeing them and thinking they were the coolest thing out there. Also because, like, I remember the Motorola two-way pager, and I thought the two-way pager was so awesome. I was just young and broke at the time. Tommy Cananza saying, oh, we don't agree. I don't like it. I will be going back to Samsung soon. I thought we found it, guys. I thought we found it. I thought we had history in the making on this show. It turns out I was wrong. Not only was I wrong, I was very wrong. Augustine saying the Pixel brings people together, and Tommy Cananza saying, I'm having none of it. Absolutely none of it. We were right there, guys. We were right there. I think Tommy loved the phone until he realized that Augustine had that phone. Oh, man. Like that's got me thinking, like, my phone is 2 years old. And I'm probably going to have to get me a new phone. And again, that's a nightmare. Augustine saying if Tommy goes to Samsung, I'll go to Samsung. LOL. And we were just the tip away. We were right there. We were so close, yet so far. 12 and a half inches of foreskin is what we had to fold our way through. I probably shouldn't. We're not on Roku, though, so I'm good with that. We did all agree that Tony Romo was a Hall of Famer, too. Augustine, did you agree that Tony Romo was a Hall of Famer? I don't remember seeing that comment from you. Augustine hearing something that he's probably heard the majority of his life. Stop following me. I know the Crooked Commish said that Tony Romo was not a Hall of Famer to him. I don't think Ray gave us an opinion. I'm not going to scroll back through all the comments to try to figure it out. Augustine, did you say that Romo was not a Hall of Famer? Augustine saying, what do you mean we're not on Roku? Okay, so after Mac passed away, we were on Roku for a little while. They didn't want to continue paying for the Roku thing. So right now, I want to say in about a week or two, we're on like this little hiatus. We're going to be launching a network here in El Paso. That's based out of here in El Paso. We're going to have the same group of people. So Sonia's going to be there, Bo's going to be there, Bistrilla's going to be there, Keith Engel, our guy, J-Train James Martin's going to be there as well. We're going to bring some of those guys over to kind of keep the national streaming sports thing going. But we're not going to be just on Roku. We're going to increase from Roku to Apple TV to Google TV as well. So that way we're in multiple places having a network based out of here in El Paso. And along with that, we're working on trying to get some live local sports on that network. I just can't jump the gun and let you know what they are at this moment because we're working on some of that stuff. There's been a lot of things in the background that your boy's been working on, driving myself crazy, on top of getting a brand new position with the El Paso Chihuahuas. There's been a lot of stuff going on, guys. A lot of stuff going on. So I apologize if small little things recently have been slipping my mind. I've got like 18 different projects I'm working on, but we're getting it done. We're getting it done. Augustine saying that's freaking awesome. And then, yes, Tony Romo is a bona fide Hall of Famer. Well, there we go. We found the common ground. The love of Tony Romo. Romosexuality bringing people together. I am here for it. That's my quarterback. I am here for it. Shout out to Anna Jasmine, WUMB13, and the real Bill K that tuned in right now over on Instagram. I can only imagine them if that's where they tuned in with me being like, as a Romosexual, it brings you together. And then just tuning right out, being like, nope, I don't want to be a part of this show. Romotality? Are you doing it like a fatality? Is that what we're doing? Kind of like Mortal Kombat? I was so excited whenever that Mortal Kombat movie came out, and I thought it sucked. Because like I love Mortal Kombat. I try to play it on all my stuff. I got to get like a PlayStation 5 now in order to play the new Mortal Kombat, which I'm kind of not wanting to do. I know they've been out for a while. I just don't want to I've got a PS4. I should be able to play these games on my PS4. But I've got to get the new PlayStation 5 if I want to be able to play the new Mortal Kombat. And then the second movie coming out, if the first one was pretty bad, and I thought the first one was garbage, and I love Mortal Kombat, and I thought that first movie kind of sucked. This second one coming out in October just has to be dog shit, right? Like, there's no way, none, that this movie is going to be good. I'm excited for Happy Gilmore 2, though. I know that comes out tomorrow. I've been counting down the days for Happy Gilmore 2. Tommy Canon's saying Romo is the greatest quarterback of all time, the Cowboys quarterback of all time. Sorry, Troy. Sorry, Roger. I agree with that. They had better teams around them. They 100% had better teams around them. Tony Romo just, I don't know, man. Like he got a bad shake. And I say that all the time. Like there was a time like you would have taken Tony Romo as like a top 10 quarterback. Augustine saying I've got a PS4, a PS5, and a Nintendo Switch. Just shelling out money left and right is Augustine Pimentel. Moneybags Pimentel. The M in Pimentel stands for money bags. I picture Augustine walking around his house now in a monocle and like at night a nightgown, like those short nightgowns with like a candle. I've turned him into Scrooge McDuck. Augustine also going on to say the original Mortal Kombat movie was so awful it was good. I liked that movie for Sonya Blade, for Bridget Wilson. That was it. I guess Katana as well. I can't remember who the actress of Katana was. I was also a young man going through a change at that time. That movie was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Gene Steratore robbed Romo of his best shot to win it all in 2014. I agree 100%. 100%. The Dallas Cowboys, like, I don't believe, I think this is a place that we can all agree on as well. Sonya Blade. Sonya Blade might be the one we agree on it all. I'm going to try to find an image here. I'm not finding the one that I want. Well, I guess kind of. I think I kind of found it. Let's see if it actually loads. Loads. Nope, that's not it. Let's see if we can get it. I'm sorry it went quiet here. I'm a man on a mission. A man on a mission. Trying to find one thing and one thing only. And it's not going to allow me to save the photo that way and put it on here. So we'll share the screen. There we go. That picture right there. A boyhood memory of mine that I will treasure forever. He's like, oh, come on, doll, give me a break. And she says in the most badass line of all time, okay, I'll give you a break. And snaps his neck. Dead air tip, that's not good. We're not on radio. I'm not going to have all the alarms going off like we had back in the day. And if you notice, you can get 10 seconds. 10 seconds of dead air. And I did not give you 10 seconds of dead air. Tommy Canazzo saying, I went through a lot of socks watching Sonya Blade in that movie. Oh, man. The memories is what Tommy says here. And it's Kano. Kano. She went through Kano. So close. So close. But you're right, Augustine. That movie was so bad it was good. Terrible, terrible acting in it. My go-to is always going to be Sub-Zero, though. I was such a Sub-Zero dude. Augustine saying 10 seconds, that's all you need until all the alarms start going off. Shout out to Lisa Jean _78 that tuned in over on Instagram. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. I'm always surprised whenever we get people that tune in on Instagram. It's wild. It's fun to me. But yes, 10 seconds, that's all you needed. Ain't that right, Tommy? Tommy saying he was a Scorpion guy. My go-to was always Sub-Zero, sometimes Liu Kang. I loved me some Liu Kang, especially in the later versions of Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang with the nunchucks just knocking people out. Ray Works saying that Jets coach is saying Justin Fields hurt his toe. We spoke about that a little bit earlier, Ray. Jets quarterback Justin Fields had to be carted off at camp. He apparently injured his toe. It might be turf toe that they're dealing with if they're dealing with the turf and stuff like that. I'm seeing right now if there's an update to it. It is saying that, okay, yeah, Jets coach Aaron Glenn said after practice that he did not know the severity of Fields' injury. Glenn said he suspects Field was hurt when his foot was stepped on by a teammate during the Jets' second practice of training camp, but that he needed to see the film. So he might have just hurt his foot because it got stepped on by a big fat guy, by just a big beefy man who was slapping beef against other big beefy men. That might be the reason why Justin Fields got hurt. Sometimes you're not used to. You're just not used to having a big, beefy man step on you. Tommy Cananta saying, I'll lend Fields one of my old socks. One of the old crusty, the crusty sock. Justin Fields hurt. He should be back by the time the season starts. I'm not putting any, like, if it's a broken toe, then maybe not, right? I thought maybe turf toe if it was just being stepped on. That's all precautionary. Might have gotten a cleat through the foot, but I don't think they have metal spikes during practice. Not on AstroTurf. So it might have just been like a dislocation, something like that. He should be back in a couple of days, couple of weeks. Might just have him do like some light throwing work, routes, things like that. Tape up that old Tootsie and get on out there with one of Tommy Cananta's old socks. Man, today's show was wild, guys. I like it. This is the way the show ought to be. This right here, this reminded me, thank you all so much. This reminded me of the radio show whenever we didn't have anything going on during COVID. So thank you all so much. Because we went from Phillip Rivers as a Hall of Famer, Tony Romo's a Hall of Famer, to the Cleveland Browns with dude wipes, to talking about phones, to talking about Mortal Kombat and all of Tommy's socks that he ruined as a young man. All because of Bridget Wilson. I'm surprised. I need to get a poster of that in here somewhere. Shout out to Walker122300. It's a lot of numbers in a name. I'm going to say that was a fake account. Tuned in over on Instagram. Anytime I see that many numbers, that's way too many numbers. I can't think of why you would have 6 numbers in your name, or you would choose 6 numbers in your name. Nonetheless, it's all right. Okay, guys. Once again, thank you so much. Today's show was a ton of fun. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. We will be back tomorrow. It's a TIP VIP Friday. I think Augustine's going to be joining me on that show as well. Tommy Canasta saying fake accounts count too much. Hey, as long as they're tuning in, that's all I care about. Keep me in the algorithm, brother. That's all I care about. Keep me in that algorithm. My dude Shane Wolf Speaks joined in on today's show as well. On Saturday, I will be out at Album Park taking pictures and helping out with the sarcoma run. I am so excited. This is one of the things that I always support. The sarcoma run. Shout out to my dude Shane Wolf Speaks. We're going to be out at Album Park, a sarcoma 5K that we're going to be supporting out there. If you have the time, the ability to get on out there, I've been sharing some of the stuff on my social media pages, so please get on out there if you have the ability. Album Park here in El Paso. We're going to have a 5K supporting the victims, survivors, and everyone else that's been afflicted by sarcoma. Great story that my dude Shane has whenever it comes to his survival story of sarcoma as a young child. Can't wait to get on out there, support you guys once again. Again, everyone, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. A TIP VIP Friday tomorrow, and we will see you all then.